Selling is hard. You hate to sell, and your audience hates to be sold too. But the good news is people love to buy. They love to invest in products and services that resonate with their values and beliefs. So how do you connect with your audience on a deeper emotional level and create a brand that naturally turns visitors into buying customers? The answer lies in building a strong brand foundation consisting of key brand strategy elements that help you differentiate yourself in the market and connect with your audience in a meaningful way. By establishing a clear and consistent brand message, visual identity, and voice, you can create an emotional connection with your audience that negates the need for direct in-your-face selling. In this video, we'll explore the 10 elements of effective brand strategy that can help you build a strong brand foundation and connect with your audience on a deeper emotional level. From internal branding and audience personas to competitive profiles and differentiation strategies, we'll take a deep dive into the key elements that make up a successful brand strategy. Drawing inspiration and insights from our own processes and other industry thought leaders, we'll provide actionable advice and strategies to help take your brand to the next level. So buckle up, grab a notepad, and get ready to learn all about the 10 elements of effective brand strategy that can transform your brand and turn your visitors into loyal buying customers. Without any hard sell whatsoever! At its core, brand strategy is the blueprint for how you communicate your brand to your audience. It's the plan for how you differentiate yourself in the market and connect with your audience on an emotional level. Brand strategy encompasses everything from your brand purpose and positioning to your visual identity and messaging. But brand strategy is more than just a set of guidelines for your marketing efforts. It's a living, breathing entity that reflects the values, personality, and essence of your brand. It's the way you communicate who you are and what you stand for to your audience. And it's the key to building a strong and loyal customer base that will continue to invest in your brand over time. A successful brand strategy should be built upon a deep understanding of your target audience, including their needs, wants, and pain points. By crafting a brand message that resonates with your audience on an emotional level, you can create a strong and lasting connection with your customers. Brand strategy also involves a thorough analysis of your competition and market landscape. By understanding how your brand stacks up against your competitors and what unique value you bring to the table, you can differentiate yourself in the market and attract customers who are looking for something different. Finally, brand strategy involves a clear and consistent brand identity, including visual elements like your logo, color palette, and typography, as well as messaging that reflects your brand purpose and values. By creating a cohesive brand identity that is consistent across all touchpoints, you can establish a strong and recognizable brand that resonates with your audience. Internal branding is the process of aligning your brand messaging, values, and personality with your employees and company culture. By ensuring that everyone in your organization is on the same page about your brand, you can create a consistent and authentic brand experience for your customers. One of the first steps in internal branding is to define your brand purpose and values. This involves identifying the higher goal or mission that inspires and motivates your team to do what they do, and the core values that guide your brand's decisions and actions. By ensuring that everyone in your organization understands and believes in your brand purpose and values, you can create a culture that is aligned with your brand and attracts customers who share your values. Another important aspect of internal branding is creating a strong and consistent brand voice. This involves developing a tone of voice guide that outlines the key messaging and communication style for your brand. By providing your employees with clear guidelines for how to communicate your brand message, you can ensure that your brand voice is consistent across all touch points and resonates with your audience. Finally, internal branding involves ongoing training and education for your employees by providing your team with regular opportunities to learn about your brand strategy, values and messaging, you can ensure that everyone in your organization is up to date and aligned with your brand. This can include training on how to communicate your brand message, workshops on your brand purpose and values, and ongoing feedback and coaching to help your team improve. Understanding your target audience is essential for creating a brand strategy that resonates with them on an emotional level. Creating audience personas can help you get a clear picture of who your ideal customer is, what motivates them, and how they interact with your brand. To create effective audience personas, start by conducting research on your target market. This can include gathering demographic information like age, gender, and income, as well as psychographic information like interests, values, and behaviors. By gathering as much information as possible about your target audience, you can create detailed and accurate audience personas that reflect their needs and desires. Once you have a clear picture of your target audience, create a series of audience personas that represent different segments of your market. Each persona should be a detailed profile that includes information like age, gender, occupation interests, values, and pain points. By creating detailed and accurate audience personas, you can tailor your brand messaging and marketing efforts to resonate with each segment of your market. In addition to creating audience personas, it's important to continually monitor and update them over time. As your target market evolves and changes, your audience personas should evolve and change as well. By regularly revisiting and updating your audience personas, you can ensure that your brand strategy stays relevant and effective. Understanding your competition is crucial for developing a brand strategy that differentiates you in the market. By conducting a thorough competitive analysis, you can identify your strengths and weaknesses and position yourself in a way that sets you apart from your competitors. To create an effective competitive profile, start by researching your competitors. This can include analysing their marketing materials, social media profiles, website content, and customer reviews. By gathering as much information as possible about your competitors, you can identify their strengths and weaknesses and develop a plan for how to differentiate yourself in the market. Next, create a SWOT analysis that outlines your own strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats in relation to your competitors. This can help identify areas where you can differentiate yourself and capitalize on opportunities in the market. Another important aspect of competitive profiling is analyzing your pricing strategy. By understanding how your pricing compares to your competitors, you can position yourself as a value-driven brand or luxury brand, depending on your target market. Finally, consider your brand messaging and how it compares to your competitors. Are you communicating a unique value proposition that sets you apart from your competitors? Are you using a tone of voice that resonates with your target audience? By crafting a brand message that sets you apart from your competition, you can attract customers who are looking for something different. One of the key elements of an effective brand strategy is developing a differentiation strategy. This involves identifying what sets your brand apart from your competitors and communicating that unique value proposition to your target market. Many brands mistakenly believe that they need to be revolutionary to find a differentiator and develop a differentiation strategy. However, whether your brand is revolutionary or not is not the main point. What matters is that you differentiate yourself from your competitors in the mind of your audience using whatever means you have at your disposal. This requires creativity that goes far beyond a clever logo, and an understanding of your customers and their problems is imperative. To differentiate successfully, you need to find an angle that your competitors aren't already using. This can be as simple as differentiating through messaging, as Avis did when they told their audience, "We're only number 2. That's why we try harder." Avis differentiated themselves by highlighting their willingness to go the extra mile for their customers, a message that their competitors had not yet capitalized on. Similarly, Dollar Shave Club created quality blades for a reasonable price and positioned themselves as an alternative to their biggest competitor Gillette, who they criticized for their high prices and unnecessary features. By taking an against position, Dollar Shave Club leveraged the success of their competitors to create a niche for themselves. Is there anything your competitors are doing that doesn't sit well with your audience? If so, how can you point the finger at it in your positioning? By understanding your customers' needs and values, you can differentiate your brand in a way that is meaningful to them and create a position in the market that your competitors cannot easily replicate. The concept of human brand persona is relatively new to branding, and only a select few brands use it effectively. In today's world, brands and consumers have a different relationship than they once did. The dialogue is two-way and transparent, and brands have evolved into living entities with personalities and opinions. In some cases, brands are even forced to have opinions on topics such as politics and social debates by their new bosses, the millennial and Gen Z consumers, who want to know where they stand. Today's buyers expect brands to behave in a certain way, believe certain things, and speak to them in a way that suits their own personality. To adapt to this changing landscape, brands have taken on more human traits and developed their own human personas. Archetypes, a scientific concept dating back to Greek mythology, enable us to categorize all personalities into 12 distinct types. This critical tool allows brands to identify the personality of their audience and the personality most likely to appeal to them. These archetypes are based on universal human characteristics and emotions and can be used as a foundation for your brand's personality. The 12 archetypes include the innocent, the explorer, the sage, the hero, the outlaw, the magician, the regular guy-girl, the lover, the jester, the caregiver, the creator, and the ruler. By identifying which archetype or combination of archetype your brand aligns with, you can develop a more cohesive and relatable brand persona that speaks to your audience on a deeper level. Brands that approach this idea strategically and build their personas through an intimate understanding of who their brand is attempting to attract are on the cutting edge of the brand evolution. Branding is a game of resonating, and there is no better way to resonate with a person than being authentically human. By creating a human persona that resonates with their audience and speaks to them in a way that feels authentic and genuine, brands can build a deep emotional connection with their customers and earn their trust over time. The human brand persona is a critical element of effective brand strategy and one that every brand builder should consider when developing their own brand. A brand's tone of voice is a critical aspect of its personality and can be used as a powerful tool for resonating with its audience. In today's content-driven world, brands have countless ways to communicate with their audience, from short social media posts to long informative blog posts, vlogs, educational videos, podcasts, and advertising. By using a tone of voice that feels familiar to their audience, brands can create a sense of calm, reassurance, and belonging. This is especially important in noisy and unfamiliar markets where a familiar tone of voice can help a brand stand out and win the trust of its audience. To achieve familiarity, brands need to inject their unique personality and tone of voice into their message, regardless of the media or platform. By doing so, they can win a small but critical battle for a position in the minds of their audience. Unfortunately, few brands approach personality and tone of voice in a methodical way, and as a result, they miss out on the opportunity to earn an edge of familiarity. By taking a strategic and methodical approach to tone of voice, brands can create a consistent and familiar voice that resonates with their audience and builds trust over time. A tagline is a short phrase or slogan that sums up your brand's identity and communicates its unique value proposition to your audience. A great tagline can be a powerful marketing tool, helping to differentiate your brand from your competitors and build brand awareness. Here are some actionable tips for creating a tagline that will help your brand succeed. Your tagline should be simple and easy to remember. It should be short enough that people can easily recall it and repeat it to others. Avoid using complex language or industry jargon in your tagline. Instead, use simple, straightforward language that anyone can understand. Your tagline should communicate your brand's unique value proposition. That is, what sets your brand apart from your competitors. Consider what makes your brand different and why people should choose your brand over others. Use your tagline to communicate these unique selling points in a way that resonates with your audience. Like your tone of voice, your tagline should use emotion to connect with your audience. A great tagline should evoke an emotional response in your audience, whether it's excitement, joy, or even fear, if that's appropriate for your brand. By using emotion to connect with your audience, you can build stronger relationships with them and create a more loyal customer base. Your tagline should be timeless, meaning it should remain relevant and effective for years to come. Avoid using trendy phrases or references that may become dated over time. Instead, focus on communicating your brand's core message in a way that will be relevant for years to come. Creating a tagline is iterative. You need to go through multiple iterations before you find the perfect tagline for your brand. Once you have a tagline, test it with your audience and gather feedback. Use this feedback to refine your tagline and make it even more effective. Many brand builders make the mistake of thinking that their core message is all they need to effectively communicate with their audience. They believe that a distilled paragraph of text that clearly describes what they do for their customers is enough to earn the trust of their audience. However, while a clear and concise core message is important for internal brand clarity, it doesn't offer much in terms of practical execution of long-term messaging. To truly earn the trust of your audience, you need to communicate consistently across all touchpoints, which requires a more detailed and comprehensive framework. Your brand needs more than just a paragraph of text to effectively communicate with your audience. It needs a framework that identifies all of the key elements of your brand, including your audience, their pain points and desires, the difference you offer, the practical benefit, and the emotional benefit. By creating a detailed outline of each of these elements, you can develop a long-term strategy for consistent messaging that resonates with your audience. While personality and tone of voice play a vital role in initially achieving familiarity, consistent messaging over time turns that familiarity into trust. In fact, trust is one of the most important influences in the decision-making process for consumers. By using a comprehensive messaging framework, you can earn the trust of your audience and build a strong and loyal customer base that resonates with your brand on a deep emotional level. A great brand story is a powerful tool for building a strong emotional connection with your audience. A storytelling framework is the backbone of effective brand communication, enabling you to connect with your audience on a deeper level and differentiate your brand from the competition. At its core, a storytelling framework is simply a way of structuring your brand story in a way that resonates with your audience. It should be built around your brand's core values, mission, and unique selling proposition, and it should be tailored to your audience's needs and preferences. One of the most important elements of a storytelling framework is identifying the key themes and messages that are most important to your brand. These themes and messages should be woven throughout all your brand's communications, from your website and social media channels to your advertising and other marketing materials. Another important element of a storytelling framework is understanding your audience's needs and preferences. You need to understand their pain points and what motivates them in order to craft a compelling story that resonates with them on a deep emotional level. When crafting your brand story, it's important to focus on the human elements that make your brand unique. This might include your brand's history, your founder's personal story, or your brand's mission and values. By focusing on the human side of your brand, you can create a story that is relatable and compelling to your audience. It's also important to keep in mind the channels through which you're going to be telling your brand story. Each channel has its own unique requirements and limitations, so you need to tailor your storytelling framework to fit each individual channel. For example, you might use more visual storytelling elements on social media, while a longer form narrative might be more appropriate for your website or blog. A brand identity system is the visual representation of your brand. It's the design, colours, typography, and overall look and feel that your customers will associate with your brand. Creating a brand identity system is crucial for creating brand recognition, differentiation, and consistency. It's not just about making things look pretty, it's about creating a visual language that communicates who you are and what you stand for. It's important to note that although the brand identity system is often the first thing that comes to mind when people think of branding, it should actually be the last step in the process. This is because it needs to be based on the results, findings and outputs of all the other brand strategy elements in order to truly resonate with your target audience at a deep emotional level. The brand identity system is the visual representation of your brand, but it's the foundation that you build beforehand that truly makes it powerful. By following the other brand strategy elements, you'll have the knowledge and insights needed to create a brand identity system that truly reflects your brand and connects with your audience. Here are some actionable tips and advice for developing a strong brand identity system. Your brand identity should reflect your brand values. Make sure your visual elements align with the personality and tone of your brand. A style guide is a document that outlines the rules for how your brand identity should be used. This includes details like typography, color palette and logo usage. Make sure to share this guide with all team members and stakeholders to ensure consistency. A logo is the centerpiece of your brand identity system. It should be memorable, timeless and easily recognizable. Hire a professional designer to ensure a high quality logo. Colors are powerful and can evoke emotions and convey messages. Choose a color palette that reflects your brand values and is consistent across all marketing materials. Typography is another important element of your brand identity system. Choose fonts that are easy to read and reflect the personality of your brand. Use your brand identity consistently across all marketing materials, including social media, website, and print materials. This consistency helps build brand recognition and trust. Creating a strong brand identity system takes time and effort, but it's an essential element of a successful brand strategy. A strong brand identity system helps you stand out from the competition, communicate your brand values, and create a lasting impression on your customers. Building a strong brand foundation is crucial for any business to succeed in today's market. By following the 10 key elements of brand strategy, businesses can create a brand identity that deeply resonates with their target audience and establishes trust and loyalty over time. From internal branding to brand identity systems, each element plays an essential role in crafting a brand that is unique, relatable, and memorable. By understanding your audience, differentiating yourself from your competitors, and telling your brand story effectively, you can establish an emotional connection with your customers that goes beyond transactional relationships. As the market continues to evolve, it's more important than ever to have a solid brand foundation that can adapt and grow with your business. By implementing the 10 elements of a winning brand strategy, you create a strong foundation that can help your brand resonate with your audience on a deeper level. The internal branding, audience persona, competitive profile, differentiation strategy, human persona, tone of voice, tagline, core message framework, storytelling framework, and brand identity system all work together to create a cohesive and consistent brand message. When you align your marketing efforts with this brand strategy, you no longer need to rely on hard selling techniques to make a sale. Instead, your brand will naturally attract and retain customers who resonate with your messaging and values. So there you have it. The power of building a strong brand foundation that connects with your audience on a deeper emotional level. By incorporating key brand strategy elements, you can create a brand that naturally turns visitors into buying customers without the need for direct in-your-face selling. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to learn more about how to connect with your audience, emote them into action, and accelerate your brand and bottom line, then be sure to like and subscribe for more content from us. We'll be sharing tips and tricks for building a strong brand foundation, creating compelling content, and implementing effective marketing strategies that help you stand out in the market and achieve your business goals. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to helping you take your brand to the next level. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.